So this year we asked members of our Central Welcome Project, a group of Central volunteers who work with HIAS to resettle refugee families in New York City, to share reflections on the commandment to love the stranger as yourself, which we just heard so beautifully chanted. And we asked them to speak based on their own experiences of migration and resettlement. We now get to hear from Jocelyn Markowitz, from Yvonne Winchell, and from Herbert Jacome. Herbert and his beautiful family resettled in New York 2 years ago with the support of our community.
For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. It's hard to imagine a collective symbolic memory of being a foreigner in an ancient land. But I do vividly recall the challenges of balancing my cultural identities and the times I felt like a stranger in the most familiar places. My parents were a modern-day odd couple. My father's family had fled the early pogroms of Eastern Europe in search of a better life. By the time I was born, the family was already fully assimilated. Thanksgiving, not Rosh Hashanah, was the holiday that brought us all together. In contrast, my mother was born in French Morocco. Her entire community moved from Casablanca to Paris because of the fear of growing anti-Semitism. She came here in search of greater independence and opportunity, firmly committed to never assimilate, met my father, and here I am. As a child, I experienced firsthand the complicated task of melding two identities. French was my first language. When I started school, I struggled to hide my accent to avoid being teased. In the cafeteria, I often wondered, why can't I just have peanut butter and jelly instead of sardines on baguette? To a young child, it was embarrassing and hard to feel included. By high school, though, I fully embraced my American side. This duality allowed me to cloak myself in cultural anonymity, deftly moving between spaces, concealing feelings of being a stranger. But negotiating this in-between space bothered me. Of course, I've come to appreciate there was no need to choose. My story was far richer when both identities were combined. Now, as a parent, I am committed to preserving my Moroccan roots and grateful for the treasures of this rich heritage. There are sadly fewer daily reminders, but I am determined. I hope my children will be guided by these lessons and what it means to be a stranger. I hope they know that the in-between is not a void of belonging, but a powerful and holy place where genuine connection occurs when you remember who we were individually and collectively, and embrace inclusion.
I was born in Mexico and migrated to the U.S. at the age of 13. From the very beginning, this country has felt like a beloved stepmother who refuses to love you back. I miss Mexico every day, and that true sense of belonging. We Jews are commanded to love the stranger because we have been strangers, and yearning for home is a universal human experience. But finding security, belonging, and a sense of identity in a new land is not truly possible when you are a stranger who is seen as unacceptable, when your humanity and dignity feel contingent. I will not romanticize welcoming the stranger because it is messy, complex, and flawed. Our Welcome Project at Central engages in this work because there is so much pain and there is so much love, and it's all mixed together. And in this process, we are able to disentangle it more so that we can experience the love more purely and the pain more purely, and it doesn't hurt to love. As Jews, we are called to turn the pain of movement and displacement into a source of empathy, action, and love, affirming the humanity and dignity in every person. We are all in this together. The fate of our children and our city is tied together with the fate of every person who calls New York home.
Hace año y medio en mi país, Guatemala, las pandillas mataron a mi hijo. Luego querían matar a mi familia. El futuro era incierto para nuestra familia. Y ya estando en Estados Unidos el primer mes aquí, aún fue más incierto. El primer mes aquí en Estados Unidos fue aún más incierto. Otro idioma, otras costumbres, otra cultura, otro clima. Para nosotros fue terrible. La agencia que nos iba a apoyar aquí nos dejó solos ese mes. Yo tuve que conocer Brooklyn caminando. A veces me sentaba en un parque a llorar. Ese mes fue una pesadilla para nosotros.
A year and a half ago, in my country, Guatemala, the gangs killed my son and wanted to kill my family. The future was uncertain for our family. After we arrived in the United States, the first month here was even more uncertain. With another language, customs, culture, and a city unknown to us, it was terrible. The agency that was going to support us here left us alone that month. I had to get to know Brooklyn by walking through many streets to look for an apartment. Sometimes I would cry in a park. That month was a nightmare.
Hasta que gracias a Dios nos mandó muchos ángeles a nuestras vidas y todo cambió. Nos ayudaron a conseguir un apartamento, a estudiar inglés, con médicos y con muchas cosas más. Pero lo más especial fue la confianza que nos dieron y su amistad, sin importar religión, credo, raza y su amistad. Fue la confianza que nos dieron y su amistad sin importar religión, credo, raza. Vimos el valor de sentirnos queridos y que lo más importante, a todos los que nos han ayudado más que su amistad, es que Central Sinagoga nos ayudó, nos ha ayudado y nos seguía ayudando a seguir en el camino bueno. Nos sentimos queridos y que le importamos a todos los que nos han ayudado, más que nada su amistad, porque nos hacen sentir en casa y en familia. More than anything, your friendship made us feel at home with family.
Until God sent many angels into our lives and everything changed. They helped us get an apartment, study English, get doctors, and many other things. But the most special thing was the trust and friendship they gave us, regardless of religion, creed, or race. Thanks to Central Synagogue, we saw the value of feeling loved and cared for by all those who have helped us. More than anything, their friendship made us feel at home with family.
He comprendido que debemos ayudar al extraño como nos gustaría ser tratados, como si fueran nosotros mismos. Y he aprendido que no solo se debe de ayudar con dinero, sino con una amistad sincera y ver las necesidades físicas, espirituales, mentales. Y hoy que soy un extranjero, un extraño, lo he aprendido por las ayudas que me han dado todos ustedes.
I have learned that we should help the stranger how we ourselves would like to be treated. And I learned that not only should you help with money, but with a sincere friendship, acknowledging the physical, spiritual, and mental needs. Now that I am a stranger, I learned a lot from the help given to me.
Thank you so much.